Hey y'all, insight number 5. Before we get into this one, because we're going to look at Psalm 139, some of the verses in there, I just want to mention Psalm 136. Have a look at that and see if you, it's a good one to do with your kids for family home evening, see if you can find a recurring phrase, because it's actually quite beautiful. So it goes through a whole lot of thanksgiving, talking about mercy being active compassion, which I love, but it literally, every verse ends with, for his mercy endureth forever. Every verse. So like, no matter what happens. So it like says, this happens, his mercy endureth forever. So more like a modern day kind of poem. So you might really enjoy that one. So have a look at 136. But just to know that no matter what, Christ keeps his promises. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so 139. We're looking at verses, what have I got down there? 8, 14, 17 and 23. But I'll do that as we go through. And of course it's in the notes of, you know that. So the thing is, he knows you. Did you know that? Did you know that Jesus knows you? He knows everything about you, just as you are. You can't hide anything. So stop trying, really. So let's look at the first one, which is verse 8. It says, if I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. So he's there for us whether we've done good or whether we have done bad decisions today. He's still there with us. So whether we make it to a good place today or we're in a bad place today, he's still there with us. Verse 14, I will praise thee. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. We'll get back to that one because fearful is not what you think it would be. And then 17, how precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God. How great is the sum of them. Oh, how much do we value the Lord's words? I'm going to talk about that too. And then in 23, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. Because the Lord's going to do that anyway. So why not invite him to do it rather than trying to hide it? But as I said, be brave, bold, and honest, because he knows anyway. And in trying to hide it, you're only going to make it harder for yourself. So just hard enough already. Just don't. So have you felt that the Lord knows you unlike anyone else? So he knows you better than anybody. Have you felt that? If you haven't yet, it's an amazing, remarkable feeling, and I really encourage you to continue developing that relationship with him until you can really feel that he knows you more than anyone else does, in a way that even you probably don't know yourself. It's pretty cool. And in verse 8, yeah, he's there even when we choose self-destruction. Because I've done that before. I've chosen self-destruction. The Lord's still been there with me. I've made my bed in some pretty terrible places, and he's still been there with me, helping me, which just made me feel even worse, quite honestly. So, yeah, I don't want to feel better. So I don't want to be in those places. I want to be in better places, and then I can feel better. So what does it mean to be fearfully and wonderfully made? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to be fearfully and wonderfully made? So fearfully here is from the Hebrew yaw-ray. I had to write that down. YAW-RAY. So yaw-ray? Yeah. Meaning awe and respect, to honor and have reverence of God and Christ. So when they say you're fearfully made, it's like you're made with awe and respect, and that you have honor and reverence of Christ and God. So wonderfully, yes, correct. Wonderfully, just as it is. Fearfully, that's what it means. It means that you have that respect for Christ, that honor, and you're made to be able to feel that. You are created and born in the most beautiful, wonderful way, in a way that you can have that opportunity to, if you choose to, honor and love Christ, to have a relationship with him, to know our Heavenly Parents, and to give that respect to them. It doesn't mean that we fear them. When it talks in the scriptures about fearing them, it means that we respect them with kindness, just like we would for someone who loves us completely, just as we are. That's what it means. So it's not fear like scared. It's fear, like reverence and respect. Do we value Christ's words as precious? Because that was the verse 17. Yes, verse 17. His communication with us is so very precious. And the sum of this communication is vast. Not only do we get personal revelation, which I highly recommend you write down. I don't do that nearly enough, and I need to. It's something, it is a weak spot for me at the moment. Work on that. But I have enough journals to fill with it. But anyway, that's another problem I have. But yeah, there's the scriptures, there's the Leahona magazine, there's general conference talks, there's so much communication with us from Christ. It is vast. We get to go to church on Sundays for most of us still, or we can watch it on Zoom or whatever is going on. And we get talks from the pulpit that, again, can be communications from Christ. Remember, answers come in all sorts of different ways. Sometimes they come from other people, sometimes they come from all sorts of things. Communication with us too is not always just words. It's feelings, emotions, it's the things around you. So his communications with us are vast. And how precious do we give that gravitas of preciousness to the words that are given us? Do we respect them and have that love for them? And do we cherish them? Because we probably could do that more. Definitely I could do that more, rather than being more flippant with some of his words, or just thinking when I get to it, it's more like, okay, I need to just pause and have a little more respect for those communications. And if the Lord searched your soul, what would he find? The Lord already knows your heart and thoughts. Again, be brave, bold, and honest, because he already knows you, truly knows all of you already. So yeah, what would you think if you asked the Lord to search your soul? Would you be scared of what he would find? Because don't be. He already knows it's there. If you're trying to hide something and you're hiding it successfully from everybody around you, the Lord still knows it's there. He's still going to know and talk to you about it and try and help you with it. So if you're honest about it, that's going to be helpful. If you're still denying, and, as I say, I live like Cleopatra. She also lived in denial. Bad joke, eh? Anyway, so if you're living in denial over that thing, the Lord already knows it's there. He wants to help you overcome it, grow through it, or whatever needs to happen, process it. I don't know, whatever it is. But if you're in denial about it, or if you're not being upfront and honest with the Lord about it, then he can't help you as effectively as he could if you actually just laid it at his feet, like we talked about last week, and saying, I'm pouring out here, I don't know what to do about this. And we might not be ready to do that straight away, and he's patient with that. He's not pressuring us to do it. He knows we will do it in our own time. Much like those wildflowers, we will grow and bloom in our own time, when the conditions are right and when we feel that it's a good time to do that. So don't pressure yourself or feel guilty over it either, but this will happen for you. President Nelson, which we'll just close off with, said, "The Saviour loves you and knows you personally. He knows the profoundest concerns of your soul." He really does know the profoundest concerns of your soul, which are going to be interestingly different, and yet very interestingly very much the same for most of us. And we probably need to talk about these more. Be more open with each other, because you'll find, instead of trying to put on this front and go and be this front person, because this is me. This is I don't have time for front. You get me, that's it. I ain't got no front. No filters. That's me. Scraggly blonde hair, chubby chins. That's me. And I don't have time for that front and being anyone but me. But people do. So, he knows you completely. So you don't need to do that with him. And maybe we need to stop doing that more with others, so that we could all feel a lot of the pressure just taken down. Just calmed right down, and just to be there. Anyway, hope that encourages some joyful noise with you to the Lord, and some thanksgiving and all that. And thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you next week when we head into Proverbs. Good stuff there too. Cool. See you guys. Mwah.